Why are we called Negroes? Why are we deaf, dumb, and blind? Why is everybody making progress, yet we seem to be lagging so far behind?
Welcome to another episode of Rooftop Perspectives. This is your host, LanceScurv. I'm using a different mic right now, which might pick up some surrounding sounds. I don't know how it's going to sound, but it's going to sound a lot better than what I had before because those particular microphones conked out on me. Battery operated. The battery goes after a couple of years, and we know that I work my equipment very hard. Anyway, it's a beautiful day out here. It's a wonderful day. It's early in the day, and there's just so many benefits to waking up early that I never really realized. I get so much done in my day, and it's a no-brainer, but when you're a workaholic and a part-time hermit like me, it's easy to get beside yourself and forget about the time. As much as I'm an extrovert, I'm very much an introvert. I like to stay to myself most of the time. I like to be free to think, and I like to move about the earth free without the influence of others who are meddling when they have nothing of their own to do. And this is one of the biggest victories and one of the biggest advantages that I have in my life in this shark-infested world. No, I'm not the kind of guy that looks at the glass half empty, but I must acknowledge that the glass is not full, okay? So, by my actions and work ethic, you must know that I have an ample amount of positivity, if not more so than the average person. But I must always be aware of protecting what I have and not allowing anybody to get in the way of me making progress. I've always been a cerebral person. Like I said, I can be the life of the party, and I can be ghost, and I like to be ghost more and more. A gentleman named Julius, he was a merchant seaman, and he crashed one of my parties one day, back in the days when I was having parties, okay? And he didn't know, but he handled it because he was a man of the world and knew such things went on. So when he was sitting there, and I wasn't the one that let him in, but I didn't chase him out, he said, "Man, you're really having a good time here." He says, "If I was a younger man, I'd exhaust myself and stay here all night long from what I see going on here." But what he said, "Listen, I'm going to pull you to the side and I'm going to tell you something that you're never going to forget for the rest of your life." And I said, "Well, what's that?" I always showed him respect. He said, "Listen, the more and more that you get older and your chronological years go up, is the more and more that you're going to really want to just be by yourself and stay to yourself." And I'm looking around at the festivities going on and what I was about to dive into, and I said, wow, I'll consider that, because this man was up in years, right? And he was the boyfriend of my godmother, okay? A long story. It was a situationship, but they were always together when he was not working or traveling the world. And I understood that this man had great knowledge, and I had to heed it. I had to think about it. And I said, wow, how do we go from... And he was a guy who was a man who attracted a lot of young ladies in his younger years. I saw a lot of pictures, and I knew what was going on in those pictures. So there's nothing new under the sun. So I said, wow, this guy must really see something in me to give me this information, because for most people, they would say, oh, no, you're lying. Oh, no, it can't be true. I'm always going to have people around me. But not to say that my close friends that I love so much, I love having them around me, and I would love to have them around me 24/7, but we all have our own lives, live different places, and stay in communication very often, if not every single day. But that being said, I have to say, in this day, what is it, November 19th, I think it is? November 19th, 2021, what Mr. Julius said was absolutely correct. And it's not because I hate people or dislike people, but when you have something that you know that you're into, that you do, that you have a burning passion for, it's like everything else wants to get in your way. If those individuals or those situations are not manifesting what they need to do for themselves, I can hang out all day long while I do my thing, right? With someone who is very determined and getting into their area of expertise with an intensity and an interest. It doesn't even have to be the same thing that I do, but have a sense of urgency for it. Have something that you master, because chances are, what I found out is that as we get older, if we don't have something of a goal set ahead of us, We'll fall into the whole resentment of others because we have nothing of our own. The idle gossip, the wanting to mess up other people's situations and see what's wrong with it. And if you see a crack in the armor of somebody's life, you want to get in there and widen that crack. See, I have no time for that. I have no time to find out about what's going on with this one and that one. Things are told to me if it's going to hamper my future or if it's a threat to my well-being. Of course, that's not gossip. But just to bring back and forth something that's not even important. How is this going to better me? How is this going to elevate me? When people bring me news or information, I quickly get rid of it if it's something that I can't use in the future, or if I can't use in the present. I can't do that. I just can't live that way. You know, and it leads me to, and I'm not going to be very specific, but I'm going to read between the lines, or say it, you read between the lines. You know, you have a lot of people who come out to Ghana and they say, boy, I'm free because I left America, I left Jamaica, I left Canada. I'm free. But are you really? You bring the same foolishness that you were doing back in America or Jamaica or Venezuela or Czechoslovakia or Canada or wherever, United Kingdom. You're bringing the same junk with you, and you have not healed. You have the same toxicity. You have the same idiosyncrasy. You hear that, Mia? My two favorite words. Didn't forget you. But it's true. It's very true. So how can we be free just because we physically transplanted ourselves to another land, but we're still filled up with the same old crap that we've been doing? That's like putting on a new dress, ladies, or a new suit, gentlemen, but you didn't wash your ass, and you're smelling like ass with a new suit on in cologne or perfume, which amplifies the funk over and above the point of being able to bear you being around me or smelling you. And it's quite evident, right? So we have many factions of people who come to the motherland, and I'm going to say this. If you want to come here to live, make sure that you have the ability to stay to yourself and enjoy it. Because many people will come to you and approach you and say that I'm a part of this group and this is what we do, and I'm a part of that group and this is what we do. But when you really look at it, what have you really done? Except use that authority to get in people's lives, to find out what they're doing, to get some juicy gossip on it. And I have a lot of people who bring me righteously information to help me know how to navigate around. And I got to tell you, if you come here, just like if you go anywhere else, you better take time to learn who's who. Because many factions of people, especially when they have the common background of being from the same country, when they get here, no more is it we're all one people. You're from America, I may be from Jamaica, but we're all one. See, back there, when everybody's suffering under the rule of the oppressor, they want to say that. But when they come here, oh, you're an American. So now you're showing your true colors, which means that you weren't the person that you professed to be. Because now that the rubber hit the road, now you're into the same separation that indoctrinated mindset put on us in America and on that side of the world. Now you find out that they will say to themselves, basically, that their philosophy, without verbalizing it, is that it's every man for themselves. So they will try to isolate you, but how can you isolate a hermit? How can you isolate one who likes to stay to themselves and create and do it from the soul? When I'm around many people, even some good-natured people, I'm distracted. I'm like, man, why don't they get out of here? You know what I mean? Let me have myself to myself so I can flow and create. And only when I create and flow, that's the time that I can enjoy what's around me. right? But other than that, I have to earn my enjoyment, and my mind is always running and working on what I can do to build my legacy, to build my body of work, my website, that it can benefit others. Because you see, I am just realizing now, and many people are envious because of this, but it is what it is, that I've had a very special life that's quite different. I was made for this, the life that I've had. And I was telling Sister Lazia earlier on a voicemail that there are many aspects of my life that many people don't know. And I'm just realizing how I've been fed into, I've been invested into from early on. So there's certain people who may not have that pedigree, but I don't feel better than them because I have it and they don't. So many now who see that you are so advanced, not better than anybody else, but advanced in human nature. And although I haven't traveled the world, I've had many experiences and been exposed to so many things in New York City, which has a community for every race, every culture, and every country, and every nationality. So I've had a chance with the father and mother, the parents that I've had, to help expose me to things. They didn't just keep me in the house and watch TV. I didn't just sit around in the same neighborhood. They took me around and taught me so many things. So now I'm reaping the benefits in another country decades later, but I saw what they did. And so I'm just sharing insights that came from experience. I don't have to fabricate or come on with a costume and try to sound a certain way to convince you that I know so much. This is why you can put the camera on, and I didn't really think of what I was going to say. I just wanted to come up here and vibe with the people. You see, when you walk home, and if you happen to not be driving, whether you don't drive or your car is in the shop and you have to take public transportation, you're walking down the street amongst the people. You say to yourself, well, listen, let me stop by the store and pick up some groceries before I go on in. You see people in the store. If you're a woman, hey girl, how you doing, whatever, and you're walking home together, you get to her house and your house is a little bit further down the road. And guess what? You stand in front of her house and you start talking. The conversation can get so sweet that you might have to even pee, and you don't realize it until an hour later. You start dancing. You say, girl, I got to get home and use the bathroom. Well, come on in and use it here. And you go and you end up staying 2 more hours of talking. Now, the conversation was so fabulous, but did you script that? Did you plan that? You didn't even know you were going to run into your friend at that particular time. Now, did you? But that's the way it flows. So that's the way it is with me. There's so much that I have to draw from experiences. I can get up here and freestyle it and do what I do. I can't apologize for that. So because of that, I'm seeing that more and more now that I'm away from the place of my birth. This is my root, but America and New York City, where I was born, is still my home. That has been home to me, but this is the motherland. It's like when you go out to a different state, or you go out overnight or go to a different country and you get a hotel room. That whole hotel room becomes a temporary home for you, but you know where your apartment or your house is when you get back to the real home. So this is the real place for me that I've never been to before, except that one short trip in 2019, but it resonates with me. But my home, place of my birth, what made me what I am today, whatever that may be, good and bad, was New York City. 38 years there, strong, and I can't apologize for that. That place and my parents has made me in a special way, so this is why I'm restructuring everything that I do on LanceScurv.com. I'm taking the emphasis off of YouTube and keeping everything uncensored on the website, because I gotta be me. There are many people who have told me in the past, in my former inner circles, and I realized why they said this, because they couldn't keep up with me. Well, you know, you don't need to be on as much. You have to make the people miss you. You have to make the people want to see you. Well, I'm not forcing anybody to come to the channel or come to the videos. You come as you are, but the people come. So why should I deny them something that they seem like they enjoy? And I vibe with everybody. But then when you realize what's at the root of that it's an envy, that they may not have as much to draw from. Because if they were raised up somewhere where it's not as much activity, it might be a little more humble. It is what it is. God bless you. That's how you were raised. But don't be mad that I have a bigger palette from which to draw from, because you weren't raised where I was. So now here comes the conflict. You have to come at me because of that. When I see somebody different, when I see that there's somebody that I know that knows a whole lot more. The other day I met a man from Italy, here in Ghana, and he was heavily into art. And he was telling me so many different things about art that I didn't know. But guess what? I didn't get jealous of him. I didn't get angry at him. No, he fed into me, and I became a better person because of our interaction. And I will, stay in contact with him. Very interesting. You see, when you bring something to the table and you are secure, especially as a man, but this goes for men and women, but women they can get catty. But I will say that in 2001, and the word bitch is a very disrespectful word when you use it to a woman, but I'm not saying it in that way, and I'm not saying it to women. What I'm saying is that the word bitch, bitch, is a state of mind. It's not attached to the sex. We know a bitch is a female dog. And I don't know why the word bitch is such a derogatory term the way it's taken. Because there's so many people that cannot even live up to the level of a true bitch. So what do I mean by that? Would a female dog leave its pups at home and go out to the nightclub and leave them in danger? Now, they don't go to nightclubs, but you know what I'm trying to say. We have many of our sisters who go out and put a little extra NyQuil inside the milk so they can knock the kids out. I mean, 4 and 5 years old, leaving them by themselves. Do you think that real dog female bitch would leave their puppies or pups unattended for danger? So now you're saying, oh, don't call me a bitch. Well, to be called a bitch in its righteous sense is a compliment, because many of you who get angry at the word can't live up to the standard righteously of what a bitch is in nature. So how about that? But we don't know that, though. We don't absorb that, right? So when people meet you and want to break you down and dissect you and find a flaw, they don't have anything going for themselves. And these are the kind of people I can't be around. If you got so much time and energy to focus on somebody else and track their lives like a daggone drone, like some computer program that tracks every keystroke of where you go online, if you're into that, I can't hang with you. Because every single day where the sun begins to shine, from early now, my mind is set on building up my legacy and conveying a message, creating something, writing something, expressing something. This is my life out here now in the motherland, and I am free in that respect. My foot is still in the system to a point, but it's on its way out, and I'll be free to wake up and do exactly what I want to do. Maybe people thought I was crazy, now I'm a nut, but now that I'm here, where are they now? Where are they now? Oh, Lance, in the comment section of some of the videos, you talk about Africa so much. I bet you don't even have a plane ticket to even get out there. And where the hell are you going to go when you go out there? You don't know nobody out there. And that was a week before I left, and I chuckled to myself. I said, oh boy, they're in for a big surprise. But guess what? I can't find these people. The woman from New York that used to work along with me, that tried her best to shut down my website, where is she? Where is she? Came against me so hard and trying to do things and take advantage of the kindness of my heart. You see, I've been through a lot of things, but I don't really comment on these things. I just let karma do its work. That's all I do. I let karma do its job, what it's supposed to do. And really and truly, this is the way we're supposed to handle it. When you have these naysayers around you, don't take the energy to go back and forth with them only if they put their hands on you, or they put their hands on your spouse, or say something to your face. You deal with it and you erase them out of your life, because you have the right to choose who you have in your life. There is no rule that says we're going to force you by law to be up with these people who can't stand you, to be up with these people who are insecure and who have nothing good for your vibration. How is it that I can come up to the rooftop and just flow like this? Because I am one with myself and I'm connected to the Creator, the one who created me, and I'm living in my purpose. That, my friend, is my best life. If I can produce something beyond my life that lasts to help other people, to show that I was here, instead of smoking a little weed and drinking a little Heineken, a little vodka, a little rum, and just sitting back and this is my best life. Well, what a sorry existence you have if that's what you can say. Because when you live your best life, you produce not just children, but offspring of wisdom and nuggets of truth that other people can absorb to navigate this world the way it is. Because the vibration of this world has truly been reduced, and it's not where it should be. And it's almost like shopping the day after Christmas for those who celebrate Christmas, right? It's picked over. There's nothing left. You look for the goodness behind the smile, and you realize the smile in other people, for the most part, is nothing but a prelude to their hustle. And they want the money out of your pocket. They want your spouse. They want your peace. They see that you have a peaceful existence, and your whole entire life before this has been a strong momentum, has been created to go there. And they want to do anything to get in the way, to break that momentum. But I'm telling you, anybody even attempt to get in the way of my happiness, they will be steamrolled. They will be tossed out. Because like the sport of boxing, and when the fight is starting, the referee gives the instructions, and the last thing he says is to protect yourself at all times. And I am going to protect my happiness, even if it means the death of someone else. There's no connection with me to some of these other dysfunctional people, and never will. When they're over there at the left, I'm over here running to the right. If they're over to the right, I'm going to the left. If they're ahead of me, I'm turning around and going back there. If they're behind me, I'm moving straight forward. Not that they have that kind of control over me to make me react in a way that they're controlling me, so my day is going to go different because I run into them or see them. No. All I'm saying is that I just navigate around. Because like a football player running to make that touchdown, he has the ball. And now the other team, their job is to stop that person from making the touchdown. And it's up to my team to guard me. But these days, let me tell you something. Lots of times, those who you think are on your team, you're running to make the touchdown for the team. And the other team members on the other team, they're trying to stop you, but you turn around and see your own team members, or who you thought were your own team members, turn around and try to knock you down and stop you from making a touchdown. This is another thing that we have to be prepared for. So when you invest in yourself, and yourself only the trusted people that are proven over time, and just like a license, if they don't renew through getting checked up, the license is no good anymore. Okay, I think it's every 8 years now in the United States, I think. It used to be every 4 years that you had to renew a license. So you can easily just renew it by filling out a few forms or going on the computer. But check this out. Now, if you die, you can't renew. So they don't count you anymore. You don't have a license anymore. Symbolically, I let my license in the United States just expire. It was symbolic for me. Like, who gets rid of their license? Am I going to go over? I have one out here. I have a driver's license here in Ghana with my picture and name and everything, and it feels good, along with my national ID card, which, you know, you got to go through parts of the system to be validated, but it feels good. And nobody can stop you from doing what you have to do. But you have to be very careful and protect your happiness at all time, and be careful of those around you and what their purpose is. If they don't have a pre-existing righteous purpose, then you have to wonder, what are you all about? Be careful what you say around them. If they have failed you or disappointed you, cut them off. Be the invisible man or woman. Have your space, and let that space not be violated. Keep them away from where you are. They can be close to you. They can be 6 feet away from you. Well, if it's 6 feet away and I build a wall, well, fine. I don't have to see you anymore. I still have the sun and the air and this and something that I'm working on. But that's the way it is. When you have something that you have that's your own, not a job, Well, my job pays me in the pension so much. That's not something you did. You went along in a system that promised you, I'm going to give you X amount of money after you trade off so many years of your life. And I played that game. And yes, I do have a pension, right? But when you have that thing that is near and dear to you that you would do all day long and you love, and it's unique and not cookie cutter, that's what a lot of people have a problem with, because now you're taking your life to a whole new level. And when you get on social media, when you get on the internet and you have this presence and people appreciate you for it, they can't find a way to get in the way of this appreciation that your people that vibe with you have for you. And they don't like it. It burns them up. They have this life where they're nondescript. More power to you. Much love to the nondescript. It's not for everybody to be some big author or big movie star or actor or actress or to have their name up in lights. But some people seek that out just because they want to be up on the podium and speak the truth or verbally plagiarize somebody else's words just to have the rush of being, it's almost like when I had the rush at 19 years old, being up on stage in a bodybuilding competition with people from all over America. And there were people there that beat me earlier in the year, but they slacked off, and I stayed on it. Kept my condition going, trained, and watched every single morsel of food that I consumed. And it edged me. You see, when you have Olympic track stars and you see them, when they're running, they're all over the world. There might be 10 people in the race. I don't know how much the stands it is, but you watch them at the Olympics. And when they win, the top three are really that close. You might have them running across, and that one person leans forward as they get over the finish line, and it's that hairline victory that makes the difference. And they get remembered throughout history as being the one who won the gold. And usually, unless it's a person who keeps coming back to the Olympics or keeps coming back in that profession, those other names fade off. Who was the guy that won the gold medal in the light heavyweight division in 1960 when Muhammad Ali, then named Cassius Clay, won the gold? We know him. But who was the bronze medalist? Who was the silver medalist? We don't know. So be the best in your niche or niche, depending on where you came up, how we pronounce that word. But focus on being the best you that you can be, because you are your niche market. You are your niche. You're made in a wonderful way. If certain people don't understand that by now or are too damn lazy to cultivate something of their own, then you don't need to be bothered with them. There is no camaraderie with you who are a person who goes after developing yourself, as opposed to those who just want to sit down and take a sip and puff and I'm living my best life. That's not the definition to me. I can't do it that way. I'm sorry. But I get to sleep good at night. You know why? Because I have earned and accomplished the right to do so. Like I always speak on the analogy and say that when you're a person who worked on a job and you've been there for years, and when the paycheck is not in near your locker or by the mailbox, whichever way they do it on the job, or in your direct deposit, you don't step to that supervisor or the one that's running the company in an apologetic manner. You step to them in strength because you know you earned it. And whatever I have online as far as the appreciation of the masses who follow, I earned it. I can't apologize for it. But to those who do, I'm very humbled and I'm very appreciative of your presence here. And I will always thank you, but I will always go back to the root and thank my parents for raising me up the way they did, because I went to college for a week and turned around and didn't like it. But I'm not a college guy. I'm a high school guy. And I didn't really even like it there. But I'm self-taught. My parents taught me. You can basically say I was damn near homeschooled, even though I was in school, because they supplemented what I learned in school with what they knew to be the truth. So I didn't have a hard transition into reality. Once you get out of school and they say, get this job, buy this house, meet this perfect mate, have children, and live this wonderful life. Well, for how many people out here is it really like that? How many people out here really have that? Somewhere along the line in our lives, something went the other way. Something took a turn. And if we were programmed to think that way, then we're thrown off. But my father showed me reality. My mother showed me reality from way back. So there's no shock to me. So this is why I come off a little older than what I am at my 58 and a half years, because my mind was a certain way, although I was a child and enjoyed the childhood, but they grew me to be an adult, a rock solid adult. And there are many things that I've been through on this level that made it where it was very challenging. People who really, really know my story, they say, Lance, you should be insane by now. You should have lost your mind a long time ago. How have you endured through one situation to another, one trauma, one travesty, after another, whether it's emotional, mental? No, I never had mental issues. But if I was a weaker person, not that anybody who has mental challenges is weak, but I would have been gone a long time ago, because life can have a smooth time for a while. And then you're thrown a curve, and all of a sudden, you find yourself in a place where you never know or thought you'd be. So that's why I came up with the saying that's on my Facebook page, and this is my original saying: it's better to initiate change than let change initiate you. It's better to initiate change than to let change initiate you, because change is coming whether you like it or not. It's best to be prepared and put in the letter or put in the memo for the change that you want, as opposed to letting life just happen to you and let that change initiate you in a way that you don't like or you don't want. That's how it happens. So I'm always seeking not just to change up or put up green curtains and I want purple curtains and I want red curtains. That's irrelevant. But what I mean as far as change to elevate, because I feel that this universe is very kind to those who continue to want to push to go higher, right? Although it may appear otherwise, because you will be rewarded for your hard work. And don't look for it in the world now, because sometimes you can be brilliant and talented in this world, but of the wrong hue or the wrong mentality, where you have certain understandings that you know it to be the truth in this world, but it doesn't get along with others. I mean, I may not agree with everything with the rainbow, but I don't hate anybody. But don't push something on me that I have to now tell you that I feel this is proper and I want to see this all over the place, because I am for the black family. I am for the black family because we are being targeted for extermination, and I don't care what anybody says. Why is the system the way it is? It's easy to get up and stand in front of people. And I saw this Iranian man who is very much Americanized stand up in front of a crowd of mixed people. And he said, it doesn't matter what race you are. It shouldn't matter what race you are. But why is it that we are targeted the way we do, and we want to have so bad the kumbaya moment that when somebody says that, we're like, yes, it doesn't matter. We want to ignore what's happening. It's up to us to change the dynamics of this world as it pertains to us. We can't allow these things to happen anymore, so why can't we be for the building of a strong black nation? Just like with Asians, they want to build a strong Asian nation, others a strong Indian nation, and those in the Caribbean, or what they call Latino, which is no Latino race. That is not a race. That's a classification, right? Because race, either African, Asian, Caucasian, Indian, or Native American, and different mixtures of those, basically. And I know somebody's going to say something in the comments section, but all of a sudden we hear this word Latino. All of a sudden we hear this LGBTQ community. And I heard a video the other day where somebody considered that a race. LGBTQ is a race now, but it has the status of being a race in many people's eyes. A race because of what you do, what you should be doing or shouldn't be doing. It's your choice. Behind closed doors, you're a race. So what my sexual preferences are is a race. So if I love to receive and give oral sex, that's the oral sex race. Did I say that? If this is crazy, these classifications, but when you know something to be truth, you can't even speak your truth. To be canceled, the cancel culture. To be censored. Oh, mainstream media has always been my pet peeve, but even more so now that the so-called controlled mainstream media is at an all-time high with cancel culture and censorship. We gonna fight. And that's why I have restructured the videos, and I've restructured everything that I do independently to do and be even more bold to say what I want to say. Beyond their clutches, beyond their reach. So let's see what they're going to do with me now. I'm always going to be that round peg that couldn't fit in the square hole. Right? I'm always going to be where they couldn't classify me, no matter where I am. I don't fit comfortably into any box because I was made again in a special way. And no matter what your upbringing, what your background, you've got to notice about yourself that you have something unique to offer to the world. But too many times we're comparing ourselves sideways and looking to see, oh my God, I can't be like this one. I can't be like that one. What am I going to do? Let me just punk out and fabricate my past and just sit back with the liquor and the joint and saying I'm living my best life while looking over and being mad at the next man who's doing the damn thing. Y'all know who you are. I know who you are. I don't care if you're mad or not. If you're mad, just stay off these damn videos, because I'm going to talk it the way I see it. I have that ability. I've worked hard for this. I'm an elder statement two. I'm an elder statesman in cyberspace. I've been here a while. I don't know everybody. I don't know everything, but I've been here a while. Respect that. Like Lil Baby from New Orleans said, put some respect on my name. Put some respect, not respect, but respect. I love that. He changed the word up. Now they ought to put that in the Merriam-Webster dictionary as a way of, because that means something different, not just respect, but respect. Put some respect on my name. It's already there. You don't want to admit it, though. That's how we do. But throughout all of these trials and tribulations that you'll go through in this life, understand that the biggest, strongest muscle that you have is your mind. Is your mind. You see, when they go back and dig up things from civilizations long gone that are buried under the ground, if a volcano happened and buried them, or a sandstorm came and buried them, or they moved on and they see the wonderful structures that are there. They go back in different parts of Africa, here where I am, and they discover things. You see, it tells how far advanced they were. And there are people who want to keep that history hidden. But it shows that we, the original people of the planet Earth, in the richest part of the earth, have a mind, and had a mind, that they're trying to take away from us, but we still have it, some of us. And they want to quell that brilliance. And so I just want to say that no matter what you are around, no matter what the situation is coming after you, you have to understand that your mind is your strongest muscle. The mind is the strongest weapon that you have. Your mind, your sanity. You have to protect your mind. Like Mike Tyson said, the whole body, arms, legs, torso, everything, even your internal organs, everything works to protect the brain because the brain is delicate. Look at the skull you have. That's so thick and so strong. I'm not saying thick as in ignorant or dumb. I'm saying to protect it. Because like I always like to say, that everything in nature that has a hard shell on the outside protects something precious and delicate and oftentimes very powerful on the inside. It's no different than your head. But most of us allow anything to get in our head. How can you be a world-class athlete if you put inferior foods in your body? You can't do that. How can you defy age and look younger beyond imagination? When you're a certain age, if you put the inferior foods, and not only that, the inferior thoughts in your mind. You see, Positivity preserves you. Positive thoughts preserve you. Caring for your family and your community preserves you because it links you up to something bigger. Because when you want to preserve and maintain yourself and fight against the ravages of time, not sit back with a joint and some vodka early in the morning and saying, I'm living my best life. No, you're not. You are an insult to the one who brought you here, and you won't get another chance if you piddle this away on some foolishness. But when you are proactive every single day thinking, what can I do to make myself better? What can I do to help somebody righteously who is about being helped and doing something righteous? I am not going to help anyone who is not really about what they should be doing. I will give the shirt off my back. I'll give my last dime. But it's a principle involved here that when you see people who are sincerely moving up and doing everything they can, they may not have all the money in the world, but they're studying and they're asking questions and they're going to people who are already doing the damn thing in that area of expertise and asking the questions. And sometimes they say, may I sweep the floor? May I just come around and just be around you? Then you know they're really about it because they have a passion for something that they're manifesting. Although it hasn't been manifested yet, you can see they're on their way because of how they think in their mind, and the mind being the strongest part of our being. Everything that you see around you is a product of a thought. Everything that you see around you, somebody thought about and attempted to make it happen and succeeded, and or didn't succeed but got close and said, you know what, this didn't succeed right now, but I can make it better. So the slap in the face that I got from YouTube because they didn't like what Mr. Political said in the live video, speaking about that court case with the white boy that had the machine gun or whatever and killed people, they didn't like that. But that was a slap in the face to wake me up, to make me see what I need to be doing even more. It's just like in the last round, or the round before Sugar Ray Leonard knocked out Thomas Hearns in September, I believe, of 1981, Angelo Dundee looked at him and said, you're blowing it, son, you're blowing it, son. I don't know if he smacked him, but that was a smack in itself. And I've seen certain trainers in boxing do that. And that's what's needed. And that's what was needed for me to come up with the plan that I think is brilliant to elevate my platform and make it even more exclusive and more true. And to knock off the curious haters and naysayers that you basically going to have to reveal yourself to view the content. And there'll be less people seeing it, I know, but there'll be more people there that are ride or die. And we'll talk about that, and you will see next week if I come back, because I might take another week, even though YouTube says we're allowing you to come back. Now, you ain't allowing nothing. I come if I want to. And I want to be the one to say, you know what, YouTube, this has been nice. This has been good for me so far. Thank you for connecting me with my people, but it's time to move on. Just like when I was on the job and walked up in there and spoke to them, the administrators, and said, you know what, it's been nice, but I have to let you go. Do you know how those white men felt? This nigga came up in the office and said, basically, he's firing us. So here came the fear. Well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do now? The job market is hard. And I said, I'm bigger than a job. I said, I am my own job. I said, I trust in my work ethic. But America is no good for me anymore. What do you mean? You're talking that stuff. I've seen your videos. What do you mean America is no good? That says you're born here, you're raised here in a good old USA, and there's no better place in this world than here. I said, really? Then keep up with my website and keep up with my creations. And slowly but surely, you can see them when the analytics come in, pinpoint to see exactly like a GPS where these people are watching my site and my work. And I know where a lot of these folks live. And if it's coming from your apartment or the area of your house, it's you. This is what makes me chuckle. When people climb up, I ain't gonna leave no comment. I ain't gonna say nothing. I just wanna see. Well, you're showing me who you are. You don't think that I have friends that are on the level of hackers that have technology that they can give me to help me see even when the haters are coming or seeing? I don't care if you get on with your phone, your computer, your tablet, where you are physically, I'm going to see it. And it cracks me up. It cracks me up. But the mind is a very powerful thing. So I am in control of my mind. I know how to project thoughts. Because like I said, everything that is around us is the product of a thought. And I am very confident in who I am. Not cocky, but in this world of mass insecurity, confidence is viewed as being cocky, because I'm supposed to be like the herd and just don't think I can do nothing. Or fabricate my past to make it seem like I'm more spectacular than I am. I don't have to do that. I just need to be and execute what's inside of you. And people after a while will see who and what you are, and you don't have to say a damn thing. You just keep on every single day doing what it is that you're supposed to do, that you know to do when you know your mission. But the biggest problem with your naysayers is they don't know their damn mission. But they know their lives are not going anywhere, that it's not adding anything on to leave for their children, to leave for the community, to be of value. They don't feel valued, and they can't stand it when you are valued. Well, if you get up and do something to make yourself of value to the people around you in your community, maybe you might get a little taste of that. Maybe if you put some hard work into the things that really mattered in this world, maybe you'd get a little bit of that. But you shouldn't worry about getting a standing ovation. I don't care about a standing ovation, because like I said, when I won the Nationals, the Natural Teenage Mr. America, back on October 10th, 1982, that was enough for me to see the principles of hard work and focus and going all out for a goal are worth it. So I took that confidence that I learned as basically legally a man, but just I'm still a man child at that point. I knew a lot about life, but I didn't know what I know now. But my father taught me principles. When I put it to work in anything that I want to do, I know it's going to be successful. So when you go on to inkgasms.com, that has my artwork, or you can go to LanceScurv.com and hit the artwork tab, the time it takes to detail and stroke every detail on the picture. If I wasn't confident and knew I was capable, how could I have the stick-to-itiveness to do that? So you got to have a strong mind, but you must know that you're capable. And how do you get that? The small victories in life, you feed on them. It makes you know that you cannot regress from that point, that you can only go higher. You take what you got that built you up from that smaller victory and go on and attack larger victories, personal victories, not necessarily racing somebody, not necessarily trying to beat somebody because you want to beat them. You're really competing with yourself. But these games that are set up in these competitions, it's really something that you should sharpen the knife of your personality and your identity on until you realize that it's not them. You really have to conquer yourself. And that's what it's really all about, conquering yourself. I'm in competition with no one except myself, because I know if I continue to whip myself and outdo myself, there's nobody touching me in my category or categories, because we just don't have to be talented in one area. We can be talented in many areas. And I love this rooftop so much. I just know that I'm gonna bring my artwork up here, maybe a small table, and just stay up here and vibe while I look over the city and just randomly make videos as the thoughts come to my head. And it's really beautiful up here, I have to say. It's really, really beautiful. And we need to be in a place of peace wherever we are, away from everyone. And I feel like that eagle or that hawk up in the trees looking down, and nobody can touch me. Up here with the sky and everything above me, I feel so at peace, even though I'm in the city of Accra, or really the outskirts of it, right? These mountains and just simply beautiful. And we need to be near nature like that. Whether it's in a big city, this city is more of a natural thing than anywhere else in the world because we're so close to nature. Maybe you can't see the mountains behind me, but they're there. And if I turn this camera around, which I'll do a different angle later on, you'll see. But it's quite a beautiful thing. And those are the things that we need to come out of and cleanse ourselves from these toxic entities that are around us so much. Because half the time, you know, This is why people say, oh, I feel stressed. I got to get away. What do? They want to come closer to nature. They want to get away from the big cities. They want to come closer to a place where they can find true peace. Well, what if you find yourself in a place like that where it's peaceful every single day? Where it's not a luxury to go on a mango tree in November or December when other places is freezing. Other places you got to bundle up and be on the public transportation next to people smelling and farting that you don't want to be around, and you're half asleep, going to a job that you don't want to go to, and you're there with a supervisor who you can't stand, or the gossipy people that you call co-workers, and then you got to go home and repeat the process, and you're too beat to do anything else. If I make a little less money while in this system, but I can enjoy these things that keep me rejuvenated at a time when most people are in a panic. If I can have it like that, isn't that a wonderful thing? Isn't that a great thing? If I can have it like that, well, why not? Money is not everything, because I can give most of you millions of dollars and put it right in your bank account, and you'll be just as miserable as ever before, because now you'll be on a buying spree, not understanding that you're not at peace with yourself. Who wants to be caught up in this whole materialistic world? That has been ingrained in us from birth in this wicked system as children, right? I mean, as soon as we get into this world, there's a struggle that we're placed in that we don't really realize. And that's the struggle to be who you know you are and who you need to be from within, and the struggle of what the world says you should be. The world says you should be making at least 6 figures, if not millions. So if the world says this and you honor the world, you're not happy until you get there. And lots of us will do whatever it takes to get there. And when many of us don't get there, we're miserable and we feel like failures, because the world told us that we're supposed to be somebody who is rich and making this amount of money. But then when you listen to the voice on the inside to do the things that bring you peace, you're a weirdo to the outside world. If you don't want a Benz, but you're happy with the old Toyota Corolla that you have, something's wrong with you. And you upset them, the people who go after the material all the time, which I'm not against anything that you have that's material, but don't be driven on just that to think that that's going to bring you happiness, because it's not. And once you start to get rid of these things, you have things, and to see the smile on someone's face from you gifting them something that means something to them, and you do it just because they earned it, and you see their walk, it brings joy to you, because they are reminded that there are good people out here. They're reminded that there are caring people out here. But if you ain't about shit, I'm going to say it that way, don't expect shit from me, okay? That's the way it is. It's a law. But we have to stop trying to validate ourselves according to somebody else's set of narrow, shallow values. That's what many of us do so much. We're dancing to the beat of somebody else's drummer, and we never extract the daily joy from this life. Look at this. I've been on this roof almost an hour. Not yet quite an hour. A few more minutes it will be. But I woke up very early. I woke up from 5 o'clock this morning. I really wanted to get out here when it was pitch black, put the light on me, and let the sun come up and let you see the mountains behind me. But I forced myself to lay down even though I was up. I lay down in there and let my hormones hit, my internal organs wake up. I didn't want to push my body. My body said, slow it down. Slow it down. And you know, those of you who drive trucks or drive buses or big heavy vehicles, that if you spin the tires in mud or on ice, you won't go anywhere. You need to slow it down to a gear that goes slow and digs into the ground and pulls you up out of that rut or that ditch or that pothole or that sheet of ice, right? So sometimes we can have all the enthusiasm in the world, but we have to temper it with having the wisdom to not go as fast or come out of the gate as fast. But we need to be sure-footed in everything we do so we don't make the miscalculations and mistakes. This life is very simple, but we can make it very complicated. And when we make it very complicated, and have to face the consequences for our actions, which may be a bitter pill to swallow, that's another opportunity for growth. To say, you know what? I shouldn't have done that. And this is why karma is coming back to bite me. So either you stay arrogant and say, I don't care. I ain't have nothing to do with that. I ain't going to apologize. Well, then just stay and deal with karma for the rest of your life. For that and other things. Karma, like I said before, is my good friend. If I see karma, hey karma, how you doing? Come on over and have some dinner with me. Let me take you out to a restaurant, because I know karma doesn't have anything bad for me. Karma has all good things for me. You understand? Because my debt with karma is paid up, and even paid up ahead of time. To the point where karma was saying, you know, Lance, you did wrong in that situation recently, but you've been so good, and I'm going to let you slide. I'm going to give you a gimme. Every 10 F-ups, karma will, or every 10 good things that you do, karma will let you slide for 1 F-up. That's just the way I think. Well, this has been a wonderful free flow, and I'm going to take it in now instinctively. They're building a house across the street, not the one that you saw yesterday that is still building, and that one has squatters in it. It's going to be a fabulous house when it's finished, but the pretty red dirt that's being dug up, I mean red, even redder than the anthill, is fabulous. And why would anybody want to leave this to go somewhere where the oppressors are in their toxic GMO food having system where you don't get no sunlight, nothing but cold? This is like being in a vacation every single day. What am I going to do for the rest of the day? I have my plans on certain things I project to do, but I have an area of time where I can freestyle it, and I know I'm going to meet people today, and everything is going to be all right because I'm listening to what is happening and the downloads I'm getting right now. I'm not a program person, but I'm a person who listens, and I listen and absorb what is told to me from the righteous downloads to guide me, right? I don't know exactly what it is. I'm not going to say what it is, but I know it's that same thing that what we call animals out in the wild, which is not wild. It's a very orderly place to live, that when they submit and listen to the downloads and trust their instincts, they won't ever get eaten up by somebody higher on the food chain. They're relaxing, wonderful coats, relaxed, chilling, but they're always aware. And like I said earlier, you must always be aware of your surroundings, but listen to those righteous downloads, and it will guide you through one successful day after another. How many times did you hear that voice in your head where you had some friends saying, come on out, you've been in the house all week, get out the house, just come. Where you going? I don't know, we're just going to ride around a little bit. Something tell you, get ready to go, and you say, nah, something's wrong. And then you find out that they got into a fender bender, or maybe even something worse. How many times have you been in a crowd of people, a nightclub or some place, a restaurant, somewhere that is not taboo to be in, and something said, get up. You can sit here and order another dish of dessert or chocolate cake or pudding or whatever it is, but something said, let me get this thing and get out of here. I just feel to move. And you move, and the place got shot up because of a jealous boyfriend who came and found this woman with another man who she wasn't seeing, but he was from the job and wanted to continue to interview or whatever over dinner. Things are not always what they seem. But a lot of us have such jacked up state of mind, we're imagining this and imagining that. And sometimes we're right. There was a recent situation where there was a husband that always accused the wife of, oh, she's nitpicking me. Oh, she's watching me. Oh, she's saying this. And oh, she's saying that. And everybody looked at her like she was a certified nutcase. But in hindsight, to find out the trail of dirty deeds that this man had done under and hiding behind the cloak of righteousness, it's like, oh, okay, you demonize her to cover your tracks. And he may not know it, but the whole world knows the facade. It got around. And that's karma. And karma is a beautiful thing. Anyway, thank you so much for listening and being here with me. I hope that some of my words helped you out. Not that I'm somebody's therapist, but we all need that friend to talk to, and I'd like to be that person. And if you feel that I am that person, hit the subscribe button, hit the follow button, Go to LanceScurv.com. If you are already on there, then join up. Over to your right, near the top, you see where you can log in or create your own account on this site. That will enable me to mass email everybody who joins, and also enable you to be a part of the forum and communicate with others who are members in that forum. But many people have got to get used to this because this is something relatively new to them, although it's been around for a very long time. So anyway, it's an enjoyment for me to vibe with you and every day come up here, which I plan on every day coming up here unless it's like a really bad rainstorm. But boy, I mean, this is a straight addiction. I do not want to leave this place, but I have to carry on. There's something calling me. There's something beckoning to me. Lance, we're waiting for you. Don't know what it is, but I got to follow my voice. But wherever I go, I always carry my cameras. You know, have camera, will travel. That's what I always like to say. Anyway, I love you all so much. And I thank you for your support on all levels. And I'm always going to do this. And we're going to look forward to artwork coming and being the first and foremost thing that I do. But there'll never be a shortage of videos and talk shows that I'm looking to truly improve in a different way. So roll with me as you have been rolling with me for the last 20 years. Those of you who have been here for the last 20 years. And even in my own personal life for more decades than that. And I promise I'll never let you down. I'll always be there to titillate your mind, to stimulate you, to make you think, and sometimes piss you off righteously. If it makes you better, then I'm good for that. Anyway, much love to you all. Salute to my brothers, and much love to my precious sisters. I love you all so much, equally. I truly do. And I feel the love, even though I'm over here in Accra, Ghana, where I belong. I can feel the love coming from the United States, from the Caribbean, from Canada, from the UK, Czechoslovakia, even Asia. There's some of us out there, right? In China, wherever it may be. I get emails and communications from all over the world, and it helps me to not have a midlife crisis. I'm too busy loving on you to have a midlife crisis. So let's see what we can come up creatively with today. And the sun is still up. It's not even anywhere near noon, but I have a whole day ahead of me. So let's roll. Anyway, thank you so much. LanceScurv out. On to the next one. Peace.
Why are we called Negroes? Why are we deaf, dumb, and blind? Why is everybody making progress, yet we seem to be lagging so far behind? Why are we mistreated? Why are we in this condition, stripped of our name, our language, our culture, our God, and our religion? Here in America, all of our religious training has been gotten by the preacher. He has told us of a heaven way up in the sky that we can't enjoy now, but rather after we die. But all of the years that we're living, for us there's nothing but hell, pain, torture, and misgiving. Yet the Bible speaks of a heaven filled with material luxury, which the white man and the preacher has right here, so we see. So my friend, take it for what it's worth. Your heaven and your hell is right here on this earth. So let's check back into history, which rewards all research and tells us plainly that before the white man gained entry to the East, he was living in the caves of Europe, a ravenous beast, eating juniper roots and eating flesh raw, till God sent Moses to civilize him and teach him the law. Then, following Marco Polo, an explorer, he gained entry into Asia and Africa. From China, he took silk and gunpowder. From India, he took jute, manganese, and rubber. He raped Africa of her diamonds and her gold. From the Mideast, he took barrels of oil untold, raping, robbing, and murdering everything in his path. The whole black world has tasted of the white man's wrath. So my friend, it's not hard to tell. A white man's heaven is a black man's hell. Before we came to America, we were living in the East. By the Nile River, we were living in luxury, enjoying freedom, justice, and equality. We wore silken robes and slippers of gold. We were the wealthiest and the wisest people, I'm told. Now we are the poorest of the poor. Nobody wants us at their door. So my friend, it's easy to tell. White man heaven is black man hell. When the white man came to America, he told the Indian, I am your white brother. He said, red man, I'll treat you the best. Yet and still he pushed the Indian further west with his white woman and fire water. Tricks and lies, he stole America. The original owner of this nation is cooped up on a reservation. So my friend, it's easy to tell. White man heaven, black man hell. He needed someone to work the land. His back was too weak. He needed you, black man, so he commissioned Sir John Hawkins to commit the world's most grievous sin, to take a man who's born to be free and bring him down to slavery, to sell a man as merchandise, on his body put a price. Oh, my friend, it's easy to tell. White man heaven is a black man hell.